First female senator in Tennessee history, has been a vocal White House supporter and just wrote a new book called The Mind of a Conservative Woman. Please welcome Senator Marsha Blackburn. Welcome to The View, Senator.
Thank you. Good to be with you to talk about the debate and our Supreme Court nominee.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Let's start with the debate. What was your reaction to the vice presidential debate last night? What's your take on what you saw?
I thought it was a good debate. The American people were well served by getting to hear both candidates and to hear their positions on issues. Mike Pence did a fantastic job talking about the record of the Trump-Pence administration, and he also exposed some of the areas where Senator Harris didn't want to go. She didn't want to talk about court packing. And as Sarah said earlier, that is one of the issues. They knew that was coming. They know that people want an issue on court packing, and she chose to punt that. And that really was kind of a surprise to me. I thought she would be more definitive on that. She is on the Senate Judiciary Committee, and we're going to start those hearings on our Supreme Court nominee. And we also know that the Democrats will not give us a final answer. Joe Biden wouldn't answer the question, and Senator Harris wouldn't answer the question if they intend to pack the Supreme Court. And I thought another thing that was
Senator, can I just point something out to you? You know,
Sure.
as I said to the women today, I said, you know, there have been a lot of times when we're asking for definitive answers and we don't get them either. So I'm not kind of surprised that they weren't really ready to say anything about that. But I have to move on to Sarah, who has the next question. Sarah.
Yeah, Senator, President Trump says he won't participate in the next debate now that the commission has announced it will be virtual. The campaign says he'll hold a rally instead. Do you think that's the right call, and would you want to see him debate again?
I would love to see the president debate again because he has a great record of accomplishment to defend. When you look at the economic accomplishments, the fact that in 2019, after the Republican House and Republican Senate passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you had household incomes up $4,400 on average per household. You had poverty rates, Sarah, at their lowest, some of them historical lows. You had more productivity because regulations were out of the way. They had been repealed. These are the things that the American people are wanting to see. The economy is the #1 issue this year. Safety and security is a big issue.
Blackburn, just one thing. Do you think you'd hear that in the debate? Because we didn't hear much of that in the first debate with the president.
I would love to hear that in a debate. I think that this administration has such a great record that they can tout when it comes to economic growth, when it comes to rebuilding our military, when it comes to trade deals like the USMCA.
So you would rather have him actually do a debate than a rally, is what you're saying. I just want to make sure I get the answer here.
Yes, I would love to see. I know the president loves doing rallies. Let's do both. Let's do both. Let's have the debate so he can point out, you know, I thought it was interesting last night that Senator Harris said that Joe Biden ran the Obama recovery. And we know that that was one of the slowest recoveries ever from a recession. 2% economic growth and 192,000.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, Senator. I have to interrupt you. It's only an hour show, but I have to interrupt you, ma'am, because the way I saw it, President Obama left this country with a surplus, and now we're in a huge deficit. Not to mention the thousands who are unemployed right now and who don't even have food. Over 1 million children are going hungry in this country. I don't see that there's anything to brag about. But let me ask you this question. Trump is back in the Oval Office, even though he's likely still...
We weren't left with a surplus. There was not a surplus, excuse me. When President Bush left
wasn't a
office,
deficit.
our national debt was at 10 trillion. And when President Obama left office, it was over 22 trillion. Now, that's way too much. $10 trillion was too much debt for me. But the thing is, no, we did not have a surplus. We have a growing federal debt.
You have a decent economy. It's now in the toilet. The economy is now in the toilet. People are out of work. Children are not eating, madam. How can you brag about his administration?
Okay.
There are hungry children out there. All right, can I ask you this question because it's about the coronavirus?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me ask this question. Because Trump is back in the Oval Office now, even though he's likely still contagious. Now, how wise is that a decision? At least 34 aides and other contacts around him have already tested positive. Do you have any concerns that he could be putting his own staff in jeopardy here? As a matter of fact, the USA Today investigation found that the White House coronavirus outbreak may have exposed thousands of people from Atlanta to Minnesota.
One of the things we do know, Joy, is that the president is in constant contact with his healthcare professionals. And I know that you all have encouraged everyone to be talking to their doctor, and that's exactly what they ought to be doing. And that is precisely what the president is doing every single day. He is taking the advice of his healthcare professionals. He didn't admit himself to Walter Reed. He did not take himself out from Walter Reed. He didn't discharge himself. But here is what I do know when it comes to the coronavirus. I know it is a very serious virus. I know it is not a partisan
may I ask
virus.
You this, then?
It affects us all, and it really is
does,
surprising.
Senator.
I'm sorry.
May I ask you this then? Because sorry, Senator, may I ask you this? When the president did return to the White House earlier this week, you tweeted, President Trump has once again defeated China. Now, aside from the blatant xenophobia in that tweet, and I don't think that you meant to offend all of the Asian Americans and Asians that you did offend by that tweet, more than 211,000 American lives have been lost to this virus and counting. Trump's own White House has become, as Joy mentioned, a hotbed of infection. What did you mean by defeating anything? What have we defeated exactly?
I think this is Sunny asking the question. I want to be sure because I can't see the screen. Okay, thank you, Sunny. One of the things we do know is that this virus came from China, and that is something that we recognize. This is where the virus came from. As I said earlier, the president is following the advice of his medical and healthcare professionals, which is what we want him to do. And we know that the virus is serious. We need everybody working together in order to defeat this. We also know that it is surprising to many of us that there is still so much partisan bickering when you look at what has happened with this virus, with suicides being up. When I'm talking to my county mayors in Tennessee, they talk about alcohol and drug abuse, child abuse.
I just don't know that a xenophobic
abuse.
tweet is helpful, Senator. I don't know that a xenophobic tweet is helpful.
The virus came from Wuhan, China. We know that. We know that
so we're getting
Chinese,
ready.
53 days, they had this pandemic on their hands. We know that they delayed giving us the viral assay.